For all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer, and today, everyone, I'm doing a very special podcast because I am not alone. I'm here with my friend Jared from a lot of videos that you probably have seen. We do some movies together too, but we are back to also talk about movies, but in a different light, because today we are talking about the top horror movies of 2016. And there's quite a bit of them. We're going to go through some of the best ones, and then we're going to give some recommendations to you guys. And then there's also some ones that actually we haven't seen that we'll mention as well. So,
and do you want to do this in any specific order?
No, we'll just kind of look over some ones that we maybe have or haven't seen, and then we'll just kind of talk about them. So you want to go first, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, this year was pretty big in terms of horror movies. Now, the last couple months I haven't seen a lot of the recent horror movies. Like, I haven't seen Blair Witch, Don't Breathe,
Lights Out.
Lights Out. Well, I could have seen Lights Out, but I chose not to.
Yeah, you chose not to.
I didn't see the new Ouija, although I heard the new Ouija, the prequel, was actually better than the original. So, for all you guys who have seen the new Ouija movie, and let us know what you think, because I kind of do. I like the 60s element of it, so it would have been cool to see, but I kind of felt like it was going to be bad. So
they came out with a lot of movies this year.
They did.
Alright, so let's start off with the one that I see here on the top of the list, and that's The Conjuring 2, which is kind of a big name. The Conjuring was a big popular movie. Annabelle was a popular movie, so The Conjuring 2, I actually really liked. It might have even been better than the first one to me, personally. They had some parts. It's not as memorable as other movies, kind of like Annabelle, but it definitely was a good movie.
I'd say in terms of modern horror movies, as far as commercial releases go, like mainstream movies, The Conjuring 2 is pretty good.
All the Conjuring movies got pretty high up with James Wan. Another movie that I see on here that I don't think either of us have seen is 31, which I don't know how good that is. It's Rob Zombie, you know.
He has kind of a
interesting style.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard if you're a Rob Zombie fan, you'll like it. If not, it won't make much sense.
Yeah, it looks a little weird. Moving on, let's talk about... Well, these are two that I've seen, but Jared hasn't. Don't Breathe and Lights Out. In my opinion, I thought Lights Out was a better movie, but Don't Breathe was definitely more scary, probably the scariest movie of this year, and it had some definitely interesting twists, but I did really enjoy Lights Out. That was a good movie. Now a movie we both have seen, and that's The Purge election year. This came out over the summer. There's parts in that movie that made me want to laugh, but... Like, overall, it was a good Purge movie. I'd say it's probably the second best out of the three.
Yeah, I liked the Purge election year. I thought,
had a good political concept,
It was it felt more like a dark comedy, almost.
Yeah.
Because some of the elements were pretty humorous.
It was hard not to laugh at some scenes. It was, like, over-the-top acting, but
overall, if you like... kind of over-the-top horror movies, definitely check out Purge Election.
Yeah, the Purge Election. And if you saw the other ones, why not see the third one, too? I don't know if they're making any more. Next up I see on the list is The Boy, which Jared hasn't seen. That was one that came out really early, I think in, like, January or something.
Yeah, early on in the year.
In my opinion, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Good, like, cinematography-wise, but good story-wise, too. It was a little slow towards the beginning, but... towards the end with, like, the twist and everything, it made it worth your time. And who knows, maybe we'll see a sequel, you know, with that ending and everything. Okay, the next one is probably my favorite one of the year, and that is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, I don't know how horror it is compared to, like, other horror movies on the list. It wasn't exactly super scary, but it was definitely pretty creepy.
Do you want to give a backstory on how you found out about...
Well, Jared came to me telling me about... the original Cloverfield that I never saw, and when I saw that, I fell in love with it. It's like Godzilla, but it's like American, and it's just overall cool. It's found footage, and it's good.
Let's just get this out here. If you haven't seen the first one, you don't need to see it.
They don't have anything really to do. Hopefully, maybe it'll tie them together.
There is a third one confirmed for February of 2017.
I'm excited. And this one was really good. They're definitely like a sci-fi horror.
It's kind of more of like a Twilight Zone, like anthology almost, but supposedly
they're good, though.
the third one will tie in.
It's J.J. Abrams,
the first two.
Definitely an interesting movie. So
definitely recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Me too. And I was going to buy it today on DVD, but I didn't. Okay, now here's one that I don't think either of us have seen. That's The Forest.
No.
My sister saw it. She said it was pretty interesting. It looked creepy.
She texts a lot during the movie. So
yeah, that's true. She could have not been paying attention that much. But from what I've seen, it looks like an interesting movie. I'd like to see it, but I haven't at this time. And that came out pretty early, too, around when The Boy came out. That was like
January, February, yeah.
And the other one is The Blair Witch, which is
a sequel.
A sequel and sort of remake to the original Blair Witch. It's mostly a sequel. And I actually really liked it. It might have been better than the original. Jared hasn't seen it, but I don't know. Are you planning on seeing it?
Yeah, I mean, whenever it comes out on DVD, I'll rent it.
Maybe we'll have to watch it together, because the ending was kind of cool.
I mean, the original, like, I don't know, as innovative it was for its time, I'm not going to lie, it really isn't the best.
Yeah, it's not really anything. It's different compared to other horror movies, but, like, it's not that scary. There's not much that goes on. Okay, one that we both saw together, actually, was The Shallows, which is like a new
Jaws
icon, like Jaws, but the thing with that is after you see it, you just kind of forget about it. It's not one that, like, if I reflected on movies, that wouldn't be in my, like, mind's
There's
eye.
nothing memorable about this movie.
No, it's just kind of
Jaws, you have, memorable lines.
Yeah, Jaws is so iconic, and you get to this movie, which it's not a bad movie, it's just not one that you're gonna pick for your top list.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, you might want to see it, but
it's more of a thriller.
It's like a Redbox movie. It's like one to watch on Redbox, but it was interesting.
Some of these are like
haven't come out, or like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Like, is that even a horror movie? I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I was gonna see it, and then I heard it was more of a romance. So I heard there weren't a whole lot of zombies in it.
Let's find one that we can
Yoga Hosers. That was a Kevin Smith movie. I heard that was interesting.
Carnage Park. Like, some of these are weird. Blackout Experiments. Not
a lot of
sure.
Well, I guess while we're going over these B movies, I'll give an honorable mention out to a recent 2016 release that I saw.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it. I didn't see it
a couple weeks ago. It's called Fender Bender.
Yeah, it's I saw it at Walmart. So if you want to pick it up on DVD, it's like $13 at Walmart.
I highly recommend it if you're into old school slasher movies. Of course there is, cheesy dialogue and stuff like that between the main characters, but it's not so bad where it's unwatchable, and the cinematography is really good. The music is like an 70s, 80s, like, horror sort of sound. And it is interesting. There's a lot of twists in it, I will say. So I recommend that.
Yeah,
it's on iTunes. You can rent it, buy it, like Max said.
That's
pick
cool.
it up at Walmart. So
why not get out there and support some B movies? And another one that we haven't seen, but we saw the kind of the ads for it, is called The Greasy Strangler. It just looks really weird, but you might want to pick it up. And another one that I heard about but I didn't see is called Holidays. It's like a mix-up of different holidays with like a horror theme behind it. Looks kind of interesting. It's got like the Easter Bunny on the front.
Oh yeah, and then there is, if you're into old school horror movies, they made, I think this is the final Phantasm.
Yeah, but did that come out, or is that coming out next
year? It came out at like limited release. I think it's already out on iTunes.
Oh, you're right, it did come out.
Yeah.
And then Boo Medea Halloween's on here too, but that's not really horror.
That's more of a comedy. Yeah.
But I mean, honorable mention because it's Halloween. So that's a little like.
And I will give a special shout out to a filmmaker that probably none of you guys know unless you follow Vice, the YouTube channel, Vice News. A B-movie horror director, David The Rock Nelson.
Yeah, check him out. Go to his Facebook page. He makes a lot of cool monster movies, and we just recently picked up some of his new ones for 2016, including Devil Ant 3.
And also, one of his first movies, Conrad Brooks vs. Werewolf, which, if any of you guys are into B-movies, Conrad Brooks was a star in a lot of Ed Wood's monster movies, including Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is probably considered one of the worst movies ever. So it's kind of, memorable in that way. But check out David The Rock Nelson and fiend him on Facebook, and I'm sure he will respond.
He'll enjoy it. And another movie I'll give an honorable mention to, this isn't horror movie, but it's definitely one that I think was a thriller in some regards, and it was interesting, and one that I would recommend is Nerve. is Nerve. Nerve. Jared and I both saw that movie. I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't like the best movie, but I would give it points for being sort of thriller-ish because there were some creepy,
there were weird
cinematography
scenes in that movie.
Yeah, it was cool. There were the outside scenes.
There were parts in it that made you feel like you were there.
I don't know if it's horror though.
With the audience, I wouldn't. No, it's
maybe thriller and
action, but definitely not horror because there's nothing really scary about it.
Nothing scary.
But it's definitely interesting, especially for the modern age and technology and all that stuff.
So finally, Jared, if you could see one movie for 2016 that you haven't yet, which one would you pick?
Oh, Don't Breathe, easily.
Don't Breathe.
Because that was directed by the same guy who directed the Evil Dead remake, which I really enjoyed. The new Evil Dead.
Yeah, then you would like.
Technically, it's a sequel remake. It's like it's kind of its own thing, but it takes place in the same world as. But Mac has not even finished the original Evil Dead.
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen the second one, so I need to see those. And then my pick is going to be for this movie called, where is it? It's called like the Belko Experiment, if I'm not mistaken. I
don't think that's out yet, though.
I don't know if it's out yet. If it did come out, then I want to see it. If it hasn't come out, then I'm going to see it. It's a weird movie about like these people that get trapped in like a workstation and they basically have to kill each other or something. I don't know. It sounded like some sort of creepypasta, so...
James Gunn wrote the script for it. Guardians of the Galaxy. So
well, that's a good honorable mention.
At least I think it's the Belko Experiment.
That's what I'm pretty sure it was called.
On. And, so I think that comes out early 2017, but I'm not 100% sure. So, that...
Yeah. So those are our picks for the top horror movies of 2016. Thank you, Jared, for being on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, thank you for inviting
We'll have plenty more with Jared. And let us know in the comments what was your favorite horror movie of 2016 and which ones are you ready to see for 2017. Thank you for watching, and remember as always, for all things Halloween,
this is Hauntformer.
Woo!